fantastic. It's getting cold out. Winter is here, I think. Christmas is around the corner. But anyway, you've tuned in to the Mojo Whiskey Bar. If you're been here before, thank you for returning. I always appreciate folks coming back and checking out our content. If this is your first time, welcome. We do all sorts of things, different whiskeys and bourbons and ryes and all sorts of things from time to time. And prior to launching the Mojo Whiskey Bar channel a few months back, Jamie and I actually recorded quite a few whiskey tasting videos before that launch. And from time to time, we'll roll one of those old videos out and sort of reintroduce them, if you will. And this is one of those videos we did back in March of 2024, where we featured a couple whiskeys from the most local distillery to both Jamie and I, and that's Cedar Creek Distillery, located in Martinsville, Indiana. It's outside of Martinsville, actually off State Road 252. Wonderful facility, brewery, distillery, winery, eatery, all those sorts of things, all in one location. In the spring and summertime, and even into the fall, they also have their whole concert series. So it's a great time. But in this video, we taste their bourbon whiskey and their most recent introduction in the whiskey world of it's a wheated bourbon. So enjoy this episode, this throwback, if you will. And while you're at it, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. All right. So today we're going to show some, I was going to say local love. I guess it depends on what it tastes like.
Yeah.
We're going to highlight some local products.
Local.
Definitely local. I mean, for me, this is as local as you can get. I mean, this is Cedar Creek Distillery outside Martinsville, Indiana, literally right across the street from my neighborhood. I mean, I can't walk. I mean, I could walk there, but
I don't think I should live within walking distance of a distillery or a bar. That's just my guess.
Although, at the same time, well, I don't know. There's pros and cons. I can see the benefits of it.
There would definitely be some cons for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the pros would be there too. But
yeah. So I've kind of befriended the guy the family that specifically the son that runs primarily the brewery, but he seems to me to be the one that's most responsible, kind of helping the Cedar Creek brand expand. They have a pretty good presence here in Martinsville, of course. They are increasing their presence in Nashville, Indiana, and I think they got a couple other things they're doing too. But their claim is that they're the only brewery, winery, distillery in the state of Indiana.
All under one roof. Is that what they're saying?
Well, but it's not really under one roof because the distillery is kind of off to the side, and supposedly there's weird laws about, which is Indiana, and there are weird laws in Indiana, so I can understand that. But same ground, same property. I know that I remember when they first came out with their bourbon. Well, probably might even say on here. It does not. This is barrel number 12, bottle number 279. I think that I probably got one of their. I was there when they first came out. I think I've been through a bottle, and this is the second or third that I've had.
And you can only buy this there, correct? Or can you buy it?
I have not seen it.
I have not seen it out either.
So they have a bourbon. I think they still have a rye, and then they just came out with the wheated whiskey or wheated bourbon. Yeah, wheated bourbon whiskey. Six year. 4 year. So we got a 4 year bourbon.
The very first barrel.
Oh, did I really? Oh, damn. Barrel number 1, bottle number 150.
Interesting.
All right. I think when they first open, I know they make their own rum. They make some, I think, vodka maybe, and there might be something else. And I swear that when they first started operating the distillery, that they actually distilled their own bourbon and their own rye whiskey.
I thought they did too. In really small batches.
But I don't think they do anymore.
Okay.
What I've heard is that they get their bourbon from MGP.
Interesting.
But I swear when they first started doing it that they made their own. Now, don't hold me to that. I could be way off.
If I was doing that, I would want to see this in a Meyer or a CBS or something.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Each of these bottles, it's a little up there, but it's, again, it's in the neighborhood, so to speak. They're about $70 a piece. All their whiskeys, I don't think this is true for their rums or for their other spirits, but for their rye, their bourbon and this wheated, they're always at 120 proof.
Yeah.
So they're going to be a little hot. But anyway, that's what I know about this. But I think they're doing it from MGP right now. So, but I guess let's start with the 4-year bourbon whiskey, single barrel, straight bourbon, bottled by Cedar Creek, Distillery Select. We don't know anything about mash bill.
No.
Label's pretty generic, honestly. But
it does have that standard traditional bourbon.
It does. And a comment about MGP. Sometimes you hear people like, "Oh, it's MGP." Like, I don't have a problem with MGP.
No, and didn't they just buy Penelope?
They did, yeah. Like maybe last year or so.
To me, Penelope Architect is about as good as it gets.
It is.
So you're not going to hear me bash them.
Yeah, and I've had plenty of products that were distilled by MGP and good stuff. So
good stuff. They do a good job.
I mean, the play there is they have the capabilities and the ability to make product. They have experience. And if you're an up and comer trying to figure out your recipe, and it takes a minute. I mean, this is 4 years, right? If you're going to age something for 4 years and you're just starting out, you'd like to start selling something, year
4
one.
years is a long time.
It's a long time. So I get it. And for a lot of distillers and companies, getting into this business is kind of a bridge
to reduce that return on your investment.
I know, right? Yeah, it's classic. I mean, there's nothing that's. I mean, the proof to me. I mean, I'm a proof guy, and I think I want something a little bit more interesting on the nose. If I'm being honest.
I was going to say for 120 proof.
There's not much there.
There's nothing that grabs you.
It's like the ethanol is like just slapping you around a little bit.
Exactly. There's nothing that's and if you take a big deep, I mean, it's gonna your nose hairs are gonna
you're gonna singe some hair.
But other than that,
not much to it.
Nothing jumping out.
It's been a while since I've had this.
The heat is on the front end.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it past there.
See, it's lingering a little bit for me.
It lingers up front.
It's on the tip of my tongue. It's not in the back.
I'm not getting it.
I don't feel it in the throat. I don't feel it. I can tell the rye is probably pretty low on this.
Yeah.
I don't know this. It's my guess. Because when I drink a high rye, I get that
right here.
Chest,
Yeah.
I'm not getting that. It's almost like the taste reminds me. Do you remember those Red Hots or Fireballs? Jawbreaker
yes,
things.
That's a good comparison.
Because it would get hot enough, and this is a memory from when I was a kid, where I had to take it out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And you kind of fan your mouth and get some air in it.
Yeah.
But the aftertaste, when you take it out, the hot thing out of your mouth, that's kind of what it reminds me of.
It is.
So there's a little bit of cinnamon, spicy candy note to me.
And what's interesting is once the heat leaves, there's not a lot left there. It's like all that flavor is right there, and then once the heat goes away, it all kind of goes away.
I mean, it's a local product.
Mm-hmm.
I want to love it a lot more than I do, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I mean, to me, at $70 at 120 proof, as a bourbon drinker, I want something that's got some complexity to it.
Yeah, there's no fruit here.
There's no fruit.
There's not really a lot of a buttery taste to it at all.
I mean, I guess,
you're getting heat with a little bit of oak, and that's
a little bit of oak,
and that's where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like cinnamon candy with a little bit of oak, the heat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's okay, but like I said, 120 proof, $70. Give me something else, just a little bit of something else.
Something needs to be there.
Yeah. So it's a little flat as far as it's kind of boring.
And like you said, we don't know the mash bill.
Don't know, but I would guess there's Probably a lot of corn.
Probably a lot of corn.
Probably not a lot of rye.
Yeah.
Probably some malted barley, I would guess, because malted barley seems to.
I've always wondered these local distilleries. Why are they not trying a red corn? Why are they not trying a blue corn?
Man, that red corn stuff is so good.
Something to give a little twist to it that no one else has.
I know. I mean, and we've tried a few. I think
the red corn, yeah.
The Revival from Highwire.
Yep.
And then I think you tried the Dueling Grounds.
Correct.
Yep. Yeah, those were good.
And I've seen a couple of distilleries lately that have a blue corn and they have a green corn, and so it's the profile is different, and no one wants to really step out of the main strip here. And if you would, you could really change, especially your small distilleries. And I suspect, in some respects, I appreciate and I admire what Cedar Creek is doing with their brand overall. I mean, they got a little bit of a captive audience. I think what they're selling on really
the spirit side,
really good facility.
It's a great facility, and in the summertime they have awesome concerts. I mean, a lot of really good cover bands come in there. It's really a good time. Bring your lawn chairs and just hang out and pack a picnic.
They're the ones that have the Martin Tucky beer.
Yeah, they do have Martin Tucky beer.
That'll...
They have. I live in a neighborhood called Painted Hills. They have a beer called Painted Hills Pilsner.
Do they? Painted Hills Porter.
Pilsner. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. Yeah, they got a little bit of a captive audience, and I suspect that their distillery is probably catering more on the rum side and their
the specialties.
Mixed drinks. I think this would be awesome in an old fashioned or something like that, because I think to me, what I like in an old fashioned is something that is a little bit higher proof.
And this would be it.
But it's $70.
I agree. $70 is tough for a mixer.
Yeah.
If I'm spending $70, that's a zipper to me.
Yeah, it needs another note or two.
Yeah,
that's my feedback. So anyway, they just recently came out with this. This is a 6-year wheated bourbon, single barrel, straight bourbon whiskey, distilled in Indiana. So I don't even know if this one says where it was distilled. So again, doesn't say distilled at Cedar Creek.
Yeah. My
assumption are based on the feedback that I've heard from a few folks, this is MGP. Again, 120 proof. That's all we know. They don't provide a lot of information. So this just came out within the past 6 months.
Yeah.
And as we already noted, this is from barrel number one. This
barrel one.
Bottle 150. So here we go.
That is pretty cool.
All right. So because it says it's wheated bourbon whiskey, you probably know this better than I do. But my understanding is that just means that wheat is the second most ingredient after corn. Yep. But there's no specific amount that it has to be.
No.
Like it could be 95 corn, 5 wheat. Would that make it a wheater?
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah. But usually wheaters are north of 10, 15%. They're usually around 20%. Not always.
I was going to say, they're close to, typically.
Like classic wheaters, like Maker's Mark is a classic wheater. Isn't there a Buffalo Trace? That's Larceny is one from Heaven Hill. Those are the two that come to mind. So they're usually going to be a little bit sweeter, a little bit softer on the palate.
Yeah.
So
should be.
The nose is already better.
Typically, your wheaters are, if you are new to bourbon,
it's a good place to start.
It's a great way to transition in.
But this is 120 proof.
So you may not want to do that.
But the noses, to me, was a little bit more pleasant. There's something more there versus the bourbon. You already went in for a taste, so I guess I got to catch up.
Yeah. The proof's there.
Something went down the wrong pipe. I'm not going to count that drink because it started burning like crazy. I'm just glad I didn't spit it out. Oh, it brings a tear to your eye, though. The proof is there. It's boring.
It's
boring. I want it to be exciting.
I took a couple more drinks. I'm trying to find something there.
See, to me, like my closest comparison for a wheater at this proof would be like a Larceny barrel proof.
Yes.
Which I don't know if I have any around here.
Yeah.
You've had it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's good.
That's good. It's good stuff. Larceny makes
This
good
one,
stuff.
the proof is just like, it's just so overpowering.
I was going to say, once you get past the proof and the initial burn, it's gone.
It's gone.
So you're like, I'm not sure what I actually had here. And the unfortunate part is this is 6 years.
I know.
And so in 6 years, no additional flavor profile jumped in.
And as I taste them, there's nothing that, to me, that really distinguishes or differentiates these
There's
a whole
not.
bunch.
There's not.
I never thought I would say this because
Interesting.
I am a proof person. I like the proof, but they should knock this proof. They should go bottled and bond on both of these.
They should. 100 proof on both of these would probably pull something else out. Because it couldn't hurt it. Especially since the majority of the people probably that are buying these are going to use them as mixers.
Yeah.
And you may cut down a little bit on the cost. I don't know if they will or not. But are these similar in price?
Yeah, they're both $70. Yeah.
That's a tough buy for $70 a piece.
Yeah, I agree. I thought I still had the rye somewhere. I might have finished it. Maybe it's upstairs. I don't know. But my memory, when I think I did a video of Cedar Creek stuff a few years ago or a couple years ago. My memory is I like the rye a whole bunch.
Okay.
But to me, when you're drinking a rye whiskey,
mm-hmm.
I think you can get by with the higher proof a little bit more because you already got the burn of the rye.
That's right.
And so you kind of expect it. And I think, to me, I don't know. It's just...
And I like ryes, and I love bourbons.
Yeah.
But to your point, when I drink a rye, I expect, well, it's going to be heat. When I drink a bourbon, I want to see some type of a flavor profile that makes me go, this is a great glass of bourbon. I'm going to buy this again.
Yeah.
What do they bring? What do they bring to the table that the $15 of Evan Williams bottle and bonds not?
I know. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
If I had the opportunity to start a distillery
mm-hmm.
or a bourbon with my name on it or our name on it, whatever people come up with, whatever. And I had to enter into the market with this. Would you do it? I don't think I would do it because there's nothing this is not memorable.
Correct. When we put our name on something, I want to remember that.
I want people to say, "Whoa, that's
those two knuckleheads finally hit something." See, we told you, our English teachers in high school that thought we were idiots. We finally hit something. So, but I agree. I would want to hit something,
especially when you're local, right?
Like that they remembered.
Like you have this opportunity, like we did a couple videos ago. Mm-hmm. We did that blind barrel thing.
Yes,
and we didn't know what we were getting into before we got into it. But they were all craft distilleries. Yeah. And when we revealed, we had no idea who any of these distilleries were. Yeah. But each one of those had that. God, I hate saying this. That these don't. Is there was something unique there? There was some flavor.
Correct. There were flavor profiles that you remember.
Multiple flavor notes. 100%. Right. Yeah. Like, granted, we recorded this video.
There were fruits.
Within the past hour.
There was something in it that you remember.
This I'm going to leave
other
this.
Than the heat of the proof.
Yeah.
You won't remember.
Now, I will say, maybe this is an opportunity to cut it with some water. Maybe put an ice cube in it and let it sit.
Take the lid.
Chances it can't hurt.
That's right. You're not going to hurt it.
So if you're going to get this to support locals, definitely
please do.
But experiment with it. It's going to be good in a mixer, but the price point, you're overpaying for a mixer.
If you're going to do an old fashioned whiskey sour, great. You're gonna pay $70 for this bottle.
So maybe get this, put a few ice cubes in it, maybe cut it with a little bit of water, let it breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
I gotta believe it can't hurt.
It can't hurt. And honestly, an ice cube may open it up. It may cut it enough that then something comes out and you didn't.
But you and I both think that the proof needs to be at about 100 anyway. Yeah, so you throw an ice cube or so in it, then you're probably gonna cut that down. But
exactly.
Anyway. Cedar Creek, I love what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Call Jamie and me if you need a little bit of help. We'd be happy to come over and help tweak some recipes.
Any day of the week.
And every day of the week, frankly. So anyway, again, thank you all for tuning in, and until next time.
Thank you.
See you.